Vasistha continued, O Ram, in the great empire known as Dreadful Hell, evil actions roam like mighty elephants in rut. I don't know if you've ever seen mighty elephants in rut. I've seen rather large cows fighting, and you don't want to get too close to them. It's some quite powerful beasts, and when they're banging their bodies against each other, you get quite a sense of awesome power. The senses which are responsible for these actions are equipped with a formidable magazine of cravings. Hence these senses are hard to conquer. These ungrateful senses destroy the body, their own abode and support. Yeah, we talk about cravings. Cravings is quite a strong word, but it's a word which is a little bit remote. I think I prefer the word addictions. Addictions shows the true nature of what we're up against here. And it's quite easy to see how addictions can destroy the body, isn't it? Whether it's addictions to drugs, whether it's addictions to our own body image. You know, people do dreadful things to their bodies quite directly as a result of their own body image. And so how do we tackle that? In the previous chapter it's talking about grinding the teeth and striving to conquer the mind. However, one who is equipped with wisdom is able to restrain craving without injuring the being, even as a noose restrains the elephant without harming its being. So we need to be careful here. And I'm wondering also if this is again a response to the traditional notions of the body, whereby the body has got to be overcome and beaten into submission. The previous chapter we were told how beneficial the body is to the liberated being. And now we're talking about how you need to be careful that the cure is not worse than the ailment. The bliss enjoyed by the wise man who has his senses under control is incomparably superior to the enjoyment of a king who rules over a city built with brick and mortar. The former's intelligence grows in clarity as his craving for sense pleasure is worn out. However, the craving disappears completely only after the supreme truth has been seen. I think I would say here not has been seen but is being seen, because even after it has been seen it's still possible to get caught up in craving. So as long as the supreme truth is being seen on an ongoing basis, then craving disappears. So the idea here is that once you've got this understanding, once you're in touch with your real nature, cravings are undermined. You're not so inclined to seek oblivion in them. You're not so inclined to seek oblivion in your addictions. To the wise, the mind is an obedient servant, good counsellor, able commander of the senses, pleasing wife, protecting father, and trustworthy friend. It impels him in good actions. So maybe it's not so much the body that we're talking about here, it's the mind. Because the mind comes in for quite a bad press as well. It's the mind that's got to be tamed. It's the mind that's got to be brought under control, etc. So, you know, both the body and the mind cause a lot of problems. But it's not really the body and the mind, it's the notions that we have about them. And if we're in touch with our essential nature, our own awareness, if we've got some understanding of what's actually going on, then we can start leading a more harmonious life. And the body and the mind become wonderful things then. They become, as it said in the previous chapter, sources of infinite delight. Isn't that great? If the mind and body can become sources of infinite delight. Rama, be established in truth and live in freedom in a mindless state. And I think this is a state which means not getting caught up in notions and beliefs, not getting caught up in believing our stories are reality. Behave not like the demons Dama, Vyala and Kata, whose story I shall presently narrate to you. So now we've got a story about 3 demons. In the netherworld there was a mighty demon known as Sambara. He was a past master in the art of magic. He created a magic city with 100 suns in the horizon, walking and talking beings made of gold, swans carved in precious stones, ice-cold fire, and his own celestial bodies. He was a terror to the gods of heaven. So it seems that the gods don't always have it that easy. When he was asleep or away from his city, the gods took advantage of the situation and killed his army. Enraged, the demon invaded the heaven. The gods, afraid of his magic powers, hid themselves. He could not find them. But they managed to kill his forces at opportune moments. In order to protect his forces, the demon created 3 other demons, Dama, Vyala and Kata. These 3 had had no previous incarnation, and hence they were free from every type of mental conditioning. They had no fear, doubt, or other predispositions. They did not flee before the enemy. They were not afraid of death. They did not know the meaning of war, victory, or defeat. In fact, they were not independent jivas at all. They weren't independent souls. They were merely the robot-like working projections of the demon Sambara. Their behaviour was like that of one who had eradicated all latent tendencies or conditioning, but had not attained enlightenment. The demon Sambara was delighted that his army had invincible protectors. So this is an interesting condition that these demons are in. They've got no latent tendencies or conditioning, but weren't enlightened. So that's an interesting possibility, isn't it? It's possibly one that we might describe as psychosis.